Hollywood's most underrated franchise, The Planet of the Apes, has returned to theaters. So today, I thought it was time for me to stop and talk about Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Please note that everything that I will say in this video is just my very own opinion. My name is Nation. You're free to comment down below your very own opinion on Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. What do you think of Caesar's trilogy? What do you think of the rest of the Planet of the Apes films? Comment that down below in the comment section. If you're new to the channel, come join the Nation. We have a lot of fun here. Please don't forget to check out that Twitter. That link is in the description, as well as that TikTok. That link is also in the description as well. I know it's been a long time. It's been a month. I have school and finals, and it's a lot of responsibility. College life is not ideal. But with all that being said, like, comment, and subscribe, and let's get right into our review.
Are you familiar with the concept of evolution?
I'm a big fan of Planet of the Apes, in particular Caesar's trilogy. I grew up with the trilogy. I remember seeing Rise on DVD. I remember going to theaters to see Dawn, and I didn't see War until, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes came out. It just came out at a time where movies were just popping out everywhere, and War was just not on my list to watch. It just didn't interest me as much. And I'm also in the process of watching the older Planet of the Apes films. With that being said, I have a lot of opinions on this film because I am a big fan of Caesar's trilogy, because this is a continuation of that trilogy. Let's get right into the good. And the good thing that comes to mind here is that this franchise does a great job taking such a silly premise and making it serious. Out of all four films, they never truly fall into parody or go overly cheesy with the concept. And this film is no different. Essentially, we are continuing the Caesar trilogy, like I said before, his story generations down the line. That is the most perfect way to continue his story, but also his legacy. And I walked out of this film saying legacy carried the film. Caesar's shadow and his impact beyond the three films is all over this film, and the central motive of Proximus Caesar is to use a twisted viewpoint of his teachings to manipulate the apes. Speaking of him, King Proximus Caesar was what sold me on the film. I remember watching that first trailer and not being that interested in the movie. I mean, I saw Dawn, I saw Rise, but I didn't see War yet, and just returning to the Apes franchise just wasn't something that I was excited for until I saw the teaser trailer and I saw that memorable line in the trailer.
What a wonderful day!
The way he is motion captured and his voice all worked for me, creating a captivating character that I just wanted to see more of. He's fascinated by the humans and don't hate them like Koba does, but he wants to learn more about them, and sometimes that means throwing his own apes underneath the bus for a kingdom. And his urge for knowledge makes him dangerous, but also powerful. I think he's by far the best character in the film, and if you watch it, you'll know what I mean. Our protagonists here in Noah and our other human character, they're fine enough. I didn't find them that interesting. They're not as great as Caesar or Maurice or even a Koba, but they're fine enough. I'm down to see them return, but again, they just weren't as interesting as Proximus Caesar. Obviously, the effects are incredible. I think Weta does a great job with these films, just doing the whole motion capture thing, and then they make you feel for these apes because they look real, they look human-like, which in IRL, apes are human-like very much, but inside of the film, they feel human, they feel very much real, like you can reach out and touch them, and I think that's the best way to get you to care about these characters. The entire film is an incredibly immersive environment that you just have to see on the big screen. These effects, they're doing some very great things with these effects. In fact, it makes you wonder why, and we keep going back to this whenever something like this happens, why this film is budgeted at 160 million and looks this great, whereas She-Hulk is budgeted at 200 million, or Secret Invasion is budgeted at 200 million, and it looks so bad. I think overall I had a great time with the movie because it does continue Caesar's legacy, and it doesn't shy away from that. They want you to know that Caesar's shadow is all over this film, and everything that he taught is a main focal point in all of these apes generations down the line. but it's not quite like Caesar's trilogy. And with that being said, let's move right into the bad. And the bad thing that comes to mind here, I'm going to spoil my ranking. This is my least favorite of the franchise, of this particular franchise. Unfortunately, somewhere in the middle, the plot gets lost in this way. They introduce the human character and her plot, but then we also introduce other characters, and then they introduce more plots. And I really wanted to see more of the kingdom. I feel as though they marketed this film as the Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, and then they only say kingdom at least 2 times in the film. We don't get to see the kingdom until 50 minutes in. As we begin the film, we start off very slow, and we're on other villages, and then we're doing different rituals, and then we're also exploring different traditions, and that's fine and dandy, but it's not until we meet Raka where things kind of ramp up. It's not that it lacks the effects or maturity. I think these are the same writers. I think these are the same people behind the Caesar trilogy, but is that it lacks the depth of Caesar's films. I never felt like I was watching a singular story. It was all set up for more interesting films to come, and that's a shame because I really thought that the title worked. I thought the trailers worked. It looked big, it looked immersive, and it looked like we were continuing this franchise in a great and powerful way, and in a sense, they do that. But once we get to the end of the film, the last 20 minutes is the movie that I wanted to see. Instead, we're gonna have to wait at least 3 to 4 years to get another film in this franchise, a sequel, that's going to be far more interesting than what this film could have been. In conclusion, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes continues this franchise with maturity, lovable characters, and rich visuals. Unfortunately, it's my least favorite, since it feels like setup for future sequels to come. With that being said, I'll give it a B+, and 8.6 out of 10. And I would say definitely go see it if you're a fan of the Planet of the Apes. This is one of the most consistent franchises ever, and I think it's one of the most underrated franchises in Hollywood. Yes, everybody loves them, but nobody ever goes to the Planet of the Apes when they're talking about their favorite franchises ever. They always go MCU, Fast and Furious, DC, Harry Potter, but they never go Planet of the Apes. And I think Planet of the Apes might be in my top 5 favorite film franchises ever. And with this film coming here, even though it's the weakest, it's still very much consistent with everything that we've seen before except the death. Alright guys, that is it for the review. Comment down below, what did you guys think of Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Comment that down below in the comment section. I know this video is very late, almost a week late. I saw this film opening night, but it's gonna take a while to come back to YouTube because I did unbearable damage to the channel by not uploading for almost 2 months. With all that being said, guys, like, comment, and subscribe. Please don't forget to check out that Twitter and also that TikTok. Those links are in the description. And I will see you all next time. Peace.